Okay, everyone, we have Mr. Stphen Heyes here. He's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu stylists, ninjutsu stylists here in this country. He was the person that brought ninjutsu here to the homeland of America, and he was in every book. I mean, he done wrote probably close to over 50-some books on the art of ninjutsu through Black Belt Magazine and several other companies. Mr. Heyes, our question for you, if you would like to give us a brief introduction on some of the things you have accomplished.
Yeah, I first got involved in martial arts in the 1960s, where I was doing sport, karate. I really enjoyed that, and I was looking for something more involved with what we might call the spirit. How to be a spirit protector, make the world a little safer, and ended up in Japan in the 1970s, where I was accepted in as the first American to study this Japanese ninja martial art. This is before there were turtle movies, all kinds of things like that. Nobody knew about what this was. And so I had a lot of adventures over there where I had to really completely reinvent what I thought martial arts were, how my body moved, how my body worked. So I had the perfect teacher because he was so different from me. And a lot of people think, oh, I want to find a teacher who's like me. Well, there's some value to that. My teacher was so different that I got to learn a whole different way of approaching things in life. And one of the things that my teacher urged me to do early, because I came from a very, maybe we would call it a stiff or linear kind of a martial art. So one of the things he recommended right away was, he says, you should study Japanese dance. I thought, oh, I didn't come to Japan to be a ninja to learn how to dance. And I didn't say that to him because he's my teacher, but why do you want me? He said, well, because using the music, using the position, Japanese dance is a very subtle action where weight shifts, a small movement of the hand tells a lot of the story. He thought it would help break me out of this mold of being so tight, so stiff, that it was making me kind of insensitive to what my training partner or an enemy would be doing. His message was we need to be very sensitive to what the enemy is doing, and that way we can come back with just exactly the right thing to do or to say or position ourselves. His answer was music. We should use music. So when you have somebody looking at this 1100s, 34 generation old method, and he said, yeah, of course, music. Different types of music. We can be very traditional today. Well, what about today's music? How the body can naturally express itself, how we can take some of our own culture, whatever our culture is, whoever we were as we were growing up, use that as a touch base. We can go ahead and start, we can learn, we can celebrate who we are. So I would totally support that kind of training for today.
How do you, because you know the term hip-hop, I guess that type of music has really influenced a lot of the youth today. And what we're trying to do is show how martial arts and hip-hop music is connected, and how martial arts can be the savior of the youth by bringing a approach that builds up the character and learns, that shows them how to express that warrior spirit. How do you think that connection, how do you think that those two are connected, and do you think it's possible to use something like that approach to change kids?
Well, it may be entirely possible. It's an interesting angle because the little children have grown up with that music. They've grown up with that form of dance or that form of movement. So now if we can capitalize on that, capture that, but then turn this into martial art, even a more precise movement with a natural body feel. I'm really interested to see, what you're going to do with this. Hip-hop music, a kind of movement, a kind of ethos, a kind of philosophy, an expression of who we are, and martial art, which is a goal of transformation. How am I going to be different? How am I going to be changed as a result of that? So we take that familiarity. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm interested to see what you can come up with this and how it works. So I believe it's possible.
Now, just our last question. You were one of the leading bodyguard or the main bodyguard for the Dalai Lama. Is that correct?
Yes, late 1980s, I first met the Dalai Lama of Tibet, who of course doesn't live in Tibet anymore. The Chinese government invaded, and so he's in exile. So when he was traveling in the 1990s in the Western world, often I acted as his security personal escort. So what a great opportunity for me to grow and learn. I got to spend 24 hours a day for a bunch of days in a row with this spiritual king of Tibet. I mean, how many of us get to spend time around an actual king and one who is so compassionate and so spiritually evolved? So, of course, that had a great impact on me and my understanding of my role as a martial artist. What is it to protect the world, have the world be more safe, more sane, more understanding from a martial artist concept, a martial artist approach. So, of course, Dalai Lama is not a martial artist, but I, as that person spending time with him, got to learn quite a bit about the techniques of the mind, about the techniques of the spirit. Some of this I even share with my students today.
Thank you, sir.
Great.